Alright, we are back. And it may not have to play. I got bored. But in fact, I did notice one thing. And it's this way. I missed some stuff. Apparently. In that main room where the spider was. Locked up spider. I can raid the bodies. Find that out. And I can. It's nice. Yeah. Here we go. But no, there's a chest. Wait, I have here. No. For a minute. Dang it. I like doing the wrong way. I disagree with them. And kind of like the fact that spiders don't respawn. So I actually do know what's ahead of us. And then past this point. And then up the in-game route. Are successful from creating bodies 97.5% of the time, and you missing them with extra fingers and have the original look, other than a physical scratch on all ends. However, for revivification, just damage. Even with increased testing, products are nothing more than skin and bone, although the occasion of spasm or crunch does allow hope of full success in the future. I know some of you complain that we should use Davis and skip the recreation altogether, but you must never be allowed to experiment with subjects into a body. Maybe working to recreate life, but that hardly allows us to desecrate the dead. Any further complaint can be brought to me directly. That's about it. And then me on it. see what was around me. It does remind me of Fable, my god. But never end well because I would buy every land possible. For my own gain.
You've made it, and look at you. Even with all you've been through. The Tuatha, your return from the dead. Please forgive me. You must be terribly confused by all of this. I am Fomerus Hughes, and this is my laboratory at Alistar. Everything you see here is dedicated to one thing, the Well of Souls, the pursuit of immortality. And you're my first success. If we only had the time, there's so much we might learn from one another. I wish I could tell you more, but your death is a mystery to me as well. It seems that your memory died with your body. You see, the well is designed to capture the soul of someone recently deceased, recreating their physical form within its waters. Simple, really. Your rebirth is the first we might truly call a success. There have been others, but the results weren't quite right.
Okay.
I am Fomerus Hughes, Scholar of Vivification Prime Circle. We're standing above my life's work, the Well of Souls. There's so much to learn about you, though. I imagine it's all a bit muddled. A side effect of the prismere? Shape of the basin? No. If only we had more time.
Why don't we have time?
The Fae are complicated. I could write 10 volumes on the effects of immortality on a pseudo-feudal court system alone. You don't know. They're called the Tuatha. They were once Fae folk of the Winter Court, but they've been twisted by their Lord Gadflow. But how could they have found us out here? We're miles away from the front lines. The war has never touched Dalantarth. And why attack the well?
Because of me.
Too much to explain right now. The Tuatha have come to stop my work, but I don't believe they know about you. Not yet. What's important is getting you out of here safely. You're the only proof of what we've achieved here. I may not be able to save the well, but I can ensure that its only success is safe. Of course you do. Please, we must hurry. Good. We can't waste time. We're in the Feylands, miles away from the front lines. I thought we were safe enough from the war. But it seems some of the Tuatha found their way here anyway.
You stay in fight?
Absolutely not. I've got my notes, but it's most important that you stay safe. It's just that you're... fascinating. Simply astounding. I'm not certain what's caused it, but somehow... yes, as I was saying, I'm not sure what... Perhaps I should go see.
Sir! Mr. Hughes! The Tuatha have reached the lab! They're inside the...
No! We've got to get you out of here now! Quickly! Follow the path to the town of Gorhart. Find Agath. He's a friend, and he may be able to help. No matter what else, stay alive!
die. No reason why it reminds me of it. Enjoying the bit. Straight through the head. And alright.
I saw you fighting there. We could have used more of you. Did they really have a troll?
The giant one.
I don't know how the Twatha found us, but if they had a troll, it couldn't have been an accident. Fate was kind to collapse that doorway behind you, or they would have chased us into the glade. The well was incredible, but it took armloads of Prismere crystals to keep the thing active. That's why we built it so close to the Stone Candle mines. They even put in a few tunnels to deliver the crystals directly into the well. I told them it wasn't safe. Looks like I was right. Again. I never did trust Fae to begin with. But those Twatha are the worst sort. They waged some sort of holy war against humans and Alpha for years now. But the front's all the way out east. What are they doing out here? How did they know about this place? They're technically a type of wild Fae. Related to the Fae of the summer and winter courts, actually. Dangerous enough in the wild. The Twatha also use them in their army. Hughes ran off, you say? I wouldn't worry too much. The old man's tougher than he looks, and he's always got a plan. They started building here when they found Prismeer in the mines nearby. Never thought we'd see Tuatha this far out west, though.
The fate weavers something that would be brought up later.
Fate weavers? Ah, charlatans. You swears by them. But I'll be damned if I trust my future to some cards. Good luck out there.
Another survivor? But I've never seen you in the tower. Were you one of the Professor's assistants in the downstairs projects? Did he escape with you? That sounds like him. Professor Hughes was very thoughtful. I mean, he is very thoughtful. I'm sure he found a way to get out. He must have! Brilliant idea, the Well of Souls. Plucks dead people out of the ether, rebuilds their body, and brings them back to life. At least that's what it was supposed to do. Guess we'll never know if it worked now. I just don't understand the Tuatha. I mean, most Fae aren't violent. The wild ones can be, but no more than any forest animal. But the Tuatha are some sort of cult among the Winter Fae. Before they invaded Erethel, no one could have imagined the Fae ever marching to war. We all knew Fomerus was a genius, but I'll admit, even I had my doubts about him being able to bring the dead back to life. Guess the Tuatha weren't very pleased that it worked.
To be fair, I'm the only success. So...
Oh, you mean Agarth? He visits Hughes every once in a while. I never could figure out why they got along. He's friendly enough, if a bit odd. You should be able to find him in Gorhart, just down the road, past the ruins. You can't miss it. Alistair is remote enough that we don't get a lot of visitors. And with our research, fewer visitors means fewer questions. We should be safe here. At least a little longer.
Yes, I am destroying you. That's fine.
Thank Matharu, another survivor. Are there any more? I suppose that's a little bit of kindness from fate. May those still trapped inside rest peacefully. The well was a beautiful dream, an end to death, a cure to tragedy. It would have made war pointless. It could have saved the world. We should have known it was too good to exist. Now our friends have paid the price. Who knows why the Tuatha hate mortals? Who knows why the Fae do half the things they do? Fomerus Hughes was one of the greatest minds of our generation. The Well of Souls was a dream that was almost too good to come true. You don't see many Fate Weavers nowadays, but they were very popular when I was a girl. My parents even hired one to advise them on raising my sister and me. But these days, you're lucky if you can find a single Fate Weaver in a big city. Most have been run out of town. This was supposed to be a nice isolated grove. So much for that. Stay safe. We'll be moving soon.
this is Tim.
Bloodthirsty berry eater. You. I remember you. You're the one? How did you come back? How did you find me here?
I found you here, but walking around.
When I saw you with Ensel in the well, I ran. But it wasn't because I was afraid. I was coming to report that Hughes's experiment had succeeded. The Well of Souls is bigger than just one gnome's pet project. My contact pays well for information about its progress. I just send reports to make some money on the side. But I don't know how the Tuatha found out. This has nothing to do with them. I never wanted anyone to get hurt. I promise you, if I knew who it was, I'd tell you. Sharing research is one thing, but academic sabotage is a crime.
If you do not know who I have yet.
Thank you. Here, take this. It's the pay for my last report. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm going back home to Odessa.
I don't like you.
This sort of thing never happened in Odessa.
Wondering. If he hasn't ranked him yet. Oh no, wait, this is the re-tournament. Down this way. Okay. Not yet. Not yet. Take forever. I'm at the other same too. Figure out where I am. Just cut it off. That would be fun. Different. Yeah, I'm in my stuff. Do it. me.
You've come from the tower, haven't you? Name's Agarth. Maybe you can help an old Fate Weaver, eh? Fate Weavers look at the great tapestry of fate. The threads will tell us how a life will unfold. But knowing the future and being able to change it are two very different things. Did he? Poor old Fomerus Hughes. He respected the way the world works. What a shame. He's probably dead by now. The cards told me that the Well of Souls would work, but Hughes' success would come on the day of his death. He took it pretty well, honestly, although we did a lot of drinking after that. You really don't know much, do you? A Fate Weaver taps into the threads of fate and channels that energy through a focus. My order prefers cards. The cards are unique to each Fate Weaver, since we all see the weave differently. You're the one. Then that means... it all makes sense now. The cards this morning. I drew the Gravedigger, the Running Man, and the Beast. Prepare yourself. They're coming.
Fear not, shall be honored. What? How? What are you? The threads of fate. I've seen them before, but I've never seen anyone manipulate them like that. You just changed how the world was supposed to work. How did you do that? You just... Fate is the will of the gods. No mortal should be able to change it. How is that even possible? Come here. I'm going to do a reading. You might be able to change the threads, but fate will still have a plan for you. I promise not to tell you if I see your death. It's a gift. Some people paint landscapes. Other people write poetry. I peer into the weave of fate's tapestry and see people's deaths.
I'm not supposed to do it.
That would be my guess. He was an academic, but he had a proper respect for fate's plan, unlike most gnomes.
Fine.
You're nervous. Relax. This is what Fate Weavers do. I'll be seeing your place in the pattern of destiny. Who you are, what you've done, where your path takes you. Or, at least, I should be. You're real, right? I swear I haven't had that much... I am. But still,
I've never seen someone whose fate was just missing. Not even when I was drunk as the king of ballads. This doesn't make sense. All mortal creatures have a place in the pattern. You should have one too, dead or not. If this is true, and I'm not saying I believe it, then your path is yours to determine.
I'm saying. Okay. I can do this.
I can see the threads around you, but they're shifting, changing so rapidly, I can't make sense of them. Normally the threads would guide my hand to the cards, and I'd use those cards to see your pattern in the weave. But it just didn't happen. They wouldn't focus. So either there's something wrong with me, and there isn't, or there's something very wrong with you.
Yes, there is something wrong with me. I was dead. Did you forget about that?
It could mean nothing, or it could mean everything. The world is changing. You might be a sign of that, or maybe the cause. I've never had a reason to doubt my own readings, but we should consult with Arden. He's not a friend, but he's got a good eye for the tapestry. I'll meet you at his home to the east. I'm going to see if I can be of any help to the wounded at the tower. The Tuatha aren't like any Fae I've ever known. They're cruel, bloodthirsty, and savage. Why, they're practically human. Hughes was always an odd one. Curious and determined as any of his kind, sure. He never shut up about his work. But he always knew what was important. He didn't worry about dying as long as he knew he'd get the well working. The Fate Weavers were once a great, unified order of sages from all the mortal races. We foretold the destinies of kings and gods. But that power takes a toll. Nobody likes bad news. And all the news in the world is getting worse. The order splintered long ago. Now the old traditions are all but lost. And all I foretell is the fate of my beer. And I see it being empty soon. We are all threads in the tapestry of fate, measured, woven, and cut according to a great plan. Fate Weavers undertake the task of reading those threads. Our title always was a bitter lie, since we have no control over how that tapestry is woven. But you do. And when a Fate Weaver looks at your place in the weave, we see only the shapes of what you may choose to become. You can find Arden's little cottage in the middle of Yovan. Had to move there when he got run out of town. He's a damned good Fate Weaver, but that doesn't make you very popular. Especially not in dark days like these. Once I was Agarth the Unyielding, the Blade of Avgrum. I wrestled the Colossus Priestess and declined knighthood by the High King of the Fae. I was a hero of men, but that wasn't enough for me. I joined the Fate Weavers, hoping to find a way to conquer destiny itself. Turns out fate is the one thing I couldn't fight. That's just it. I don't know if you've got one, but that's why we're going to see Arden. He lives in a little hut to the east in Yulven. I'll meet you there. What could this all mean?
These things. Alright.
all the songs in halls of lore,
Yeah.
there echoes none more grand than Olaine's many feats of might, the pure and lady of the light. She is a knight of golden knot. She is the cure seeker, the conscience of the summer fae. She is the heart of spring, of day.
Alright, nice. Yeah.
Everyone just stand back. The warden can't work when you're crowding so close. Go back to your business. Go on.
I need a drink.
Keep moving. This business doesn't concern you. Unless you're an expert scholar on the Fae, I'd suggest you move along. No reason to be out in the open with the Red Legion about. I don't know if you noticed, but St. Ordwig's mission closed its gate moments before that Fae's body turned up on the road. I don't like what that suggests. Not at all. I'd never seen one of them until a day or so ago. It appears that a small group of warriors ventured inland to strike behind our lines. Believe the stories, friend. The Tuatha were mad. They have been touched by a dark magic. They are wholly corrupted, and they are the enemy. The brothers of St. Ordwig's are an odd sort, scurrying back and forth across the mission like squirrels gathering nuts. I wonder what goes on behind those closed doors. Bandits, but no ordinary bandits. Surely you've heard of Red, the dead Idward. They say he drinks the blood of his captives, that he consumes their souls. Or perhaps those are just rumors. You should be fine if you stay inside the village. Once you go beyond the boundaries of Gorhart, however, your life is in your hands. What are they? I'm not sure, but they've been here for longer than any of us can imagine. They're older than the trees. They have to be. They grew them. Humans and immortals cannot live together in peace, at least not forever. The peace we have with the Summer Court is unnatural. That's my opinion. You might call it a Fae nation, one of two united factions that rule their kind. The Summer Court are not exactly allies, but they do let us be, most of the time. It's the other Fae, the Winter Court, that has spawned the dreaded Tuatha, a vicious clan of killers who wish to defeat and enslave all mortals. Are you playing a trick on me? I would hope so. We're going on 10 years of the mortals and the Tuatha locked in a deadly embrace. Normally, I'd decry the bloodshed, but this is a conflict that we cannot afford to lose.
I don't care what you race. It's a tragedy whenever anyone's savage like this. Just look at the poor creature. She's been beaten to the brink of death. The Fae may be strange, but they certainly don't deserve this. I don't know what the Tuatha would be doing this far from the front lines. It must be something vital to their interests. They're a wicked breed, though, and I pity the man who meets up with them in these darkened forests. I've seen many bandit clans in the Crystal War and back home, but these men are a particular breed. They're like their victims, weak and bloody. The Red Legion has been a presence in the area for several weeks now. Our people are scared to show their faces after dark. I'm the Warden of Gorhart, and a poor one at that. I've been back from the war for only 6 months and been Warden for less than 2.
Now here I am with an injured Fae on my doorstep. I'm a disgrace. We keep a precarious peace with the Court of Summer, one that's tested every day. I lie awake at night worrying what kind of disaster awaits me in the morning. But we're a good community full of good people. We have our eccentrics, sure, but we work hard and live quietly. That's the best anyone can do these days. I've spent most of my life dealing with them, but they aren't like us. Not at the core. They don't know what it means to be a man who sweats to feed his family. KoA-R has become a sort of refuge for those settlers who wish to live a life free of Fae. I don't see that lasting. Not with the war. Not with everything changing. Our fate rests in the hands of a few chosen who fight in the east. You wouldn't even know it in KoA-R. We're miles away from the smoke and the screams. Peaceful Fae make up the tribe known as the Court of Summer. They are led by a king in a faraway city, hidden from mortal eyes. That's about all I know. Little more than rumors and stories from my youth. It appears she was attacked with some manner of short blade. Likely a dagger, although there's no way I can be sure. People simply stood by as she called for help. No one lifted a finger. Can you imagine? It's shameful to treat another in such a way, even if she is a Fae. I don't know whether we possess the knowledge to treat such a wound. Frankly, I don't even know if I could save a mortal with such grievous wounds. It's difficult to say. We've been plagued by the Red Legion for days, but it's not their way to go after the Fae in the area. They like their targets mortal. In case you haven't heard, there had been some Tuatha sighting in the woods to the west, so that's also a possibility. It's unlikely, though. Well, you're the only one. With all the troubles we've suffered in this village, people are weary of adversity. They'd rather just ignore it. I'm going to suggest something a bit untraditional. There's a Fae named Eri. She spends her days up on the hill overlooking the village. Seek her wisdom. I would do it, but I am a coward. That's the truth. Perhaps a Fae will know how to heal a Fae. If not, then we're back where we started. She spends her days on the precipice overlooking the village. She doesn't think we're aware of her presence, but we most certainly are. Bye now.
Hi.
Welcome.
You there? Do you feel nauseous? Itchy? Have you noticed any blood leaking from your eye sockets? I've been noticing the symptoms everywhere. No, this situation could not be any worse. If the Red Legion is involved, then we could all be staring death in the face. What have I done?
Maybe because of my boat and
Please come back.
I will end this video right here. Hello, God.
Welcome.
There's a chest. I mean, the greater person. See, it's not understanding everything. I just want that. But, okay.
Behave yourself.
I just need a table. There we go. I have this. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this episode. I will see you guys in the next one.